Today, I want to take you on a journey into one dish that truly embodies the rhythm of daily life here, bún chả. Now, you might have heard of Vietnam's famous pho, or maybe you've tried bánh mì, the crispy baguette stuffed with meats and herbs. But bún chả, though not always the first dish that comes to mind, is a culinary treasure of Hanoi, deeply tied to its culture, its people, and even international headlines. As we walk through its history, its taste, its role in society, and even its brush with global politics, I hope you'll begin to see why this humble bowl of noodles, grilled pork, and herbs is so much more than just food. To understand bún chả, we need to travel back in time. Picture Hanoi in the early 20th century, narrow streets lined with shop houses, vendors carrying baskets suspended from bamboo poles, and the smoky aroma of grilled meat rising from makeshift stoves. This was the birthplace of bún chả. The dish's name explains itself. Bún means rice vermicelli noodles, and chả refers to grilled pork, often fatty cuts or patties made from minced meat. Early versions were likely sold by women wandering neighborhoods, carrying charcoal braziers and calling out to workers and families. Over time, stalls became permanent, but the essence, smoky grilled pork paired with noodles, herbs, and dipping sauce, has remained unchanged. By the 1950s, bún chả was already woven into Hanoi's culinary identity. In fact, a famous Vietnamese writer once remarked that the entire city seemed to be enchanted by bún chả. That enchantment has not faded. To this day, locals consider it not just a dish, but a part of their personal and collective memory. Now, let's get to the part that makes most of us hungry, the flavors. Imagine standing on a Hanoi street at noon. You hear the sizzling crackle of pork over glowing charcoal. You see small patties of minced pork caramelizing, turning golden brown, alongside thin slices of belly meat with edges crisping from the heat. The aroma is smoky, savory, and slightly sweet, the kind of smell that makes you stop in your tracks. When your bowl arrives, you'll find a few essential elements. The pork, usually two forms, slices of marinated belly and small pork patties. The marinade is a careful mix of fish sauce, garlic, sugar, and pepper. On the grill, the fat drips, flames flare, and the meat develops that unmistakable char. The noodles, soft, white rice vermicelli. They may seem plain, but they are the perfect base, absorbing flavors while adding a cool, smooth texture. The herbs and greens, a garden on your plate, perilla leaves, coriander, lettuce, Vietnamese mint, and sometimes shiso. These are not decoration. They bring freshness and fragrance that balance the richness of the pork. The pickles, thin slices of green papaya or carrot, lightly sweet and sour. They provide crunch and acidity. The sauce, this is where the magic truly happens. Called nuoc cham, it's a dipping broth made from fish sauce, vinegar or lime, sugar, garlic, and chili. Sometimes a bit of pork stock enriches it. It is salty, tangy, sweet, and umami all at once. The way to eat bún chả is interactive. You don't just stir it together. Instead, you assemble bites. A little noodle, a piece of pork, maybe a leaf of mint, dipped into the sauce, then into your mouth. Each bite is a performance, smoky, fresh, sweet, sour, soft, crisp. The contrasts are the key: warm meat against cool herbs, fatty pork against sharp vinegar, softness against crunch. This balance is very Vietnamese. Here, food is rarely about one dominant flavor. It's about harmony, like different instruments in a piece of music. But bún chả is not only about taste, it's also about how it's eaten. Walk down Hanoi's old quarter around lunchtime, and you'll see tiny plastic stools filling sidewalks, locals hunched over steaming bowls, chopsticks moving quickly. It is a democratic dish. Students, office workers, grandparents, and tourists all gather around the same low tables. There is no formality, no class distinction, only the shared enjoyment of food. Eating bún chả is a communal act. The way it's served, shared herbs, communal plates of noodles, dipping sauce that everyone uses, encourages conversation. Strangers may sit shoulder to shoulder, and by the end of the meal, they are no longer strangers. In this way, bún chả connects people, weaving social bonds in the middle of the city's chaos. It is also a dish of memory. Many Hanoians recall childhood trips to Bún Chả stalls with their parents or grandparents. Recipes are often passed down within families, with each household adding small variations. For many, it is a taste of home. Of course, no story of Bún Chả today is complete without mentioning a dinner that caught the world's attention. In May 2016, President Barack Obama visited Hanoi. Instead of dining in a palace or a luxury hotel, he sat on a simple stool at a modest restaurant called Bún Chả Hanoi. His companion? The late Anthony Bourdain, chef and storyteller. Together, they shared a meal of bún chả, clinking bottles of local beer, using chopsticks just like everyone else in the room. The scene was broadcast globally. Here was a U.S. president enjoying a $6 meal in a family-run shop, surrounded by ordinary diners. It was not staged extravagance. It was genuine, intimate, and symbolic. Suddenly, millions who had never heard of Bún Chả wanted to try it. The restaurant became a pilgrimage site, nicknamed Bún Chả Obama. They even created a set menu called the Obama Combo. But what made this moment so powerful was not celebrity. It was the message: food can bridge cultures, break down barriers, and show respect. In that modest restaurant, the world saw that Vietnamese cuisine, and particularly Bún Chả, had the power to connect across distance and difference. While Bún Chả is uniquely tied to Hanoi, it does have cousins across Vietnam. In the south, you might encounter bún thit nuông, grilled pork with noodles and herbs. The difference lies in sweetness, presentation, and herbs. Southern dishes tend to be sweeter, use more peanuts, and sometimes combine with fried spring rolls. Even within Hanoi, no two shops serve Bún Chả quite the same way. Some prefer leaner pork, others fattier cuts. Some char the meat until it's crisp, others keep it tender and juicy. The dipping sauce may be sweeter in one stall, tangier in another. Part of the joy of exploring Hanoi is discovering your personal favorite. Outside Vietnam, chefs have adapted Bún Chả to suit local markets. Some use chicken or beef instead of pork, others reduce fish sauce for milder palates. Yet, purists argue that the authentic flavor depends on three things: fatty pork, charcoal smoke, and the balance of nuoc cham. Without those, something essential is missing. So why does this dish matter so much? First, it represents the philosophy of balance at the heart of Vietnamese cooking. Nothing is too heavy, nothing too light. Smoke meets freshness, fat meets acidity, meat meets herbs. Second, it is accessible. You don't need a reservation, you don't need wealth. A few dollars buys you a complete, satisfying meal. This accessibility makes it a dish of the people, not the elite. Third, it tells stories. For locals, stories of family and neighborhood. For foreigners, stories of discovery and connection. For the world, the story of Obama and Bourdain breaking bread in Hanoi. Finally, it endures. Despite globalization, fast food chains, and changing tastes, Bún Chả continues to thrive on Hanoi's streets. It evolves, yes, but it remains loyal to its roots. As your guide today, I hope I've shown you that Bún Chả is more than just something to eat. It is a living piece of Hanoi. It carries history from wandering street vendors to modern restaurants. It carries flavor: smoky, sweet, sour, and fresh, all in one bite. It carries culture, a symbol of community, simplicity, and connection. And it carries a global story, the moment when a world leader sat at a humble table and shared a meal with millions, in spirit if not in person. So when you sit down in Hanoi with a bowl of Bún Chả, take a moment. Look around at the people beside you. Notice the smoke rising, the herbs piled high, the sauce glistening in its bowl. Taste carefully. And remember, you are not only eating lunch. You are participating in a tradition, a culture, and a story that continues to unfold, one smoky bite at a time.